Hi, you might remember this dumpster find from a video. It's probably a few years ago now. Anyway, I'll link it up here and down below if you haven't seen it. It's a Tektronix TDS540D, and it's a 4-channel, 500 megahertz jobby, and it actually works. But the CRT in it didn't work, but I was able to get it working from the VGA output on the back, and it seemed to work just fine. It's missing a couple of knobs, but these TDS Series scopes, they do have a reputation for having problems over the years, but they're still incredibly powerful scopes. It doesn't have a huge amount of memory. I think it's only like 32K or something. 4-channel, 500 megahertz, I think 2 gig sample per second. You know, it's still a pretty beastie scope. So I thought that instead of repairing the CRT, that I'd do an LCD replacement for it. And this is actually quite a common thing. A lot of people do a CRT replacement for this thing. So that's what I've got now, but I'm having a bit of issue with it. Show you what's actually going on here and see if we can solve it. Anyway, during my live show the other week, I did actually get this out of the bunker. It's been there in parts, and I reassembled it. And when I first turned it on, I encountered a bizarre fault. It didn't work, and I'll insert the clip here, and it was just amazing what the culprit actually was. Flowchart. Diagnostic flowchart. Primary troubleshooting procedure. Press on the principal power switch. Can you hear the fan whirring? No, because I've disconnected it. 622 refers to the flashing code 8 in the right center of the flowchart. Oh, thank you. Primary troubleshooting procedure. Really? Did I miss it? Does DS1 first flash .8 then display a sequence of hex numbers? No. Does DS1 flash 8 then display the sequence of hex numbers pausing to flash .C? No. No. Replace the A11 DRAM processor display module. Obviously, displaying the 8 is the first thing it does, and then it just resets and keeps flashing 8, 8. So it's clearly not being allowed to go through its sequence. It's like, change the entire processor board because you get a flashy 8. No. No, no, no. I'll plug the fan in, just for that authentic fan noise. I don't think it's detecting the fan. It's only a 2-wire jobby, but you could detect that. Who knows? That'd be embarrassing if it was. Hey, no, it's now working. It was the fan. Really? Whoa. Yeah, it's flashing. It went through a cycle. All the LEDs are on. It's now flashing top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom segment. It boots. Maybe, I don't know, is the Dallas SRAM in this thing going? Let's try and prove that. I'm going to disconnect the fan. It's the only thing I'm going to do is disconnect the fan. I'm going to turn it back on. I think it'll work. I reckon there's something else afoot. No, it detects the fan. There you go. It detects the fan. Wow, I would not have guessed that. It must have some circuitry to detect that the fan is connected, because it's not like the fan's only a 2-wire jobby. That made a fool out of me. I would not have guessed that. Who else would have guessed, be honest, that it was detecting the fan and that was causing it to cycle boot? Although the fan does plug into the processor board. There's a bit of a giveaway. It plugs in the processor board, not into the power supply board. So there you have it. It was the fan on this thing, which is this giant jobby over here. And as you can see, like it's only a 2-pin physical connection on there. So they must be doing some sort of like load detection to, you know, determine that there's a load on the fan. So if I boot it up without the fan here, and you can see, it just flashes the 8 and the front panel just flashes off and on. It's like the power supply's hiccuping. It's doing something like that. So yeah, it's really weird. And I don't think this is actually covered in the manual at all. Actually, I haven't tried this. Can I just plug the fan in? Will it? Yeah, look, it just, as soon as I plug the fan in, it goes. Don't know if the 4 is correct. It hasn't fully booted yet. Like that when it's good. Nah, I'll just turn it off. So we'll just boot that up. There we go. It's gone through its power on. Yep. And then it'll eventually reach a point where it should just toggle up and down like that, and it's working. Now, of course, this uses some Dallas non-volatile memory, and what's the date code on those? 99, so they're 22 years old. So, yeah, that's a bit of a problem. But anyway, it still seems to work. I'm not sure if they hold calibration data or whatnot. You can see there's some missing memory here. This is actually for the color option. I did actually buy some memory. This is way back when I was in the old, that big rented lab that I had, and I was looking at doing this. I did actually buy the memory, and I've got it somewhere, but it's, you know, hidden away in a box somewhere in the bunker. So, yeah, I'm not going to bother with the color upgrade until I find that. I just want to get the LCD working. So what I've got is this LCD here. I'll put up the data here. It is a generic type, but apparently this is the one that fits the TDS, or at least that's the info I found on the interwebs somewhere. And yeah, it just came with one of these boards which has a VGA interface. You can buy the LCD on its own, or you can buy it with a board. And unfortunately, I'm getting a bit of a problem, so let me power it up. So check it out. I don't know if you're seeing that, but I've only got one waveform there, but there's more than one because it's got multiple colors. Have a look at the font down here. You can see that it's got the different colors there, and they're on like alternate lines or something. There's some sort of like interlacing type problem or something like that. There's something going on there, but it does work. Interestingly, if I turn on the menu system, it does it with the menu as well. Auto config, that's not going to fix it. So, oh, there we go. No, it just moved it up to the top there. Detects it fine, but it's doing some sort of weird decoding of that. Now, given that it's got different colors, and this is only a mono output, first of all, and then I will disconnect, I think, two of the color lines and see, like, if we just get the one color, and it's fine. I don't know. I've got a slightly more modern scope. My MDO 3000 has a VGA output, and that looks fantastic. There it is. So it's something particular with this TDS 540. Yes, if you're wondering what that display is there, that's a safe operating area display. I've been playing around with that. I might, maybe, I'm going to see a video on safe operating area. Anyone? Bueller. And I've got another LCD here, but it's the wrong form factor. I'm not sure where this one actually came from. It works just fine and dandy. So there's something with this board that's in particular with the signal from this TDS 540. But this board, I don't know, JST ping or something, works just fine. So yeah, look, it's beautiful. But it's the wrong form factor, and no, the LCD cables aren't compatible, I don't think. What we want to do is disconnect a combination of the colors. So we've only got one color, so like it'll just not get the other colors because we're seeing multiple color lines there. So if you just get rid of one, I don't care if I have a green screen. In fact, that'll be quite retro. If we go down here, we should be able to see some RGB inputs, and bingo. There you go, 75, 75, 75, should be 3 of those. Yep, okay, so that'll be red, green, blue input there. And I'm sure if we buzzed out that point there, that point, and that point, that would go over to the RGB. So which one's which? They do actually have a VGA connector under there by the looks of it. Nice, okay, yeah, so you could have put it like a VGA directly on there. Red, green, blue. There you go. So you've got I2C, and you've got grounds, and you've got your vertical sync, your horizontal sync. Let's leave the middle one intact. Let's leave the green one intact, shall we? Or is the input coming here and going through this 0 ohm resistor? I'll just buzz it out. That's 75 ohms to ground. That's shorted to the 4th pin down there. Yeah, the bottom side of each of those 75 ohm resistors is grounded. So the 0 ohm resistor could be the input. Let me try and find it. Geez, the buzz is loud on this 786 when you've got a dead silent lab here. 0, there you go, 5th pin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we take out the 0 ohm resistors, Bob's your uncle. Top 0 ohm resistor and the bottom one, and that should just leave us with green. Sorry you can't see this, I want to get it vertical. Got him. Okay, let's give that a whirl. And we can't see that, of course, so as I've shown in a video, just get a light. Got my little light here, and look at that, magic. Check it out. Like, it's just absolute magic. You don't need a polarizing filter or any of that rubbish. So SSD 102 star. Oh, look at that. It certainly is green, but no, it's not. It's not solving our problem. That was kind of obvious, wasn't it? But I do like the green. I like that retro look. I think I might keep it if I can fix this damn thing. Wait, hold on to your hat. I think I might have fixed it. Look, if we go through the menu here, in here, there's this thing called clock. I had it on D. It looks like it has A, B, C, D. On D, we actually got something. Look, but it's not very bright. Oh, yeah, it doesn't show up on camera that well, but that looks good. I think I just need to maybe play around with that clock and then adjust the brightness. Yep, we're good. So there's something with that clock setting. Let me play. Oh, well, there's a few lines over here, but that is actually usable in its own right. It's just not very bright. Maybe I could put the other two colors back and it might be good, but yeah, I'm going to play around with this clock setting now. There you go. I set it to clock A, and that looks absolutely fantastic, except the brightness is still quite high. Look at that. There you go. Oh, I like the green. I'm liking that. Tell me I'm wrong. That looks old school. I love it. I'm not going to put that back. So that's fixed. That's all it was. Dull, obviously. There you go. So there it is. So I don't know what that clock setting does. It shifts the clock and it's, don't know. If you know, leave it in the comments. Couldn't be bothered investigating that, but that works hunky-dory. Look at that. So I'm now going to try and hopefully retrofit this in here. It's supposed to be the model that actually fits, but we'll find out. Anyway, you get the both of the top boards out. You've seen this in the previous videos, and that's where all the LCD CRT stuff used to go. And the VGA cable, of course, will disconnect that from the back, and we can just plug the cable in, and I can just have a short cable. I don't know about the cable solution yet, but somehow it has to mount in here, and this pulls off, and this has got a little ribbon which goes over. That's for the buttons on the front, and there you go. So we have to somehow mount this screen in there. I just love the magnesium alloy body on these things. It's absolutely beautiful. So all that has to shove in there, and oh, that's upside down. All the electrons are going to fall out. So this has to somehow get in there like that and mount on the back of here. So, oh, that's a pretty good fit. That's not bad, although you can see it. You could just put some black tape on there, I guess, just to cover up the metal. Oh, no, well, I don't know. Once you put the front cover, the front cover, yeah, once you put the front cover on there, I don't think you'll notice that. Yep. Just center that in there and just tape that in place, I think, and Bob's your uncle. Yep, you just need to line it up. Potentially minor problem here. Our board requires 12 volts DC input, and by the looks of this sticker here, all of our supply here is it doesn't, there's +5 and there's +15 and you know, -5 and stuff, but no 12 volts to tap off. There could be like a 12 volt on a board somewhere, like the +15 might go to the board, and there might be a 12 volt reg on one of the boards. Maybe we can tap, but it's just annoying. All right, so this is my plan. I've stuck my PCB on the back of the LCD in here, so the LCD is stuck in there, so that's hunky-dory. I've actually added the control board up here, so I've stuck that down so that it should be able to access, because the PCB is just in here. I think this is just vacant space. And the power cable, because we've got the floppy drive here, which I haven't got actually connected, the connector for that is over here on the edge. I think there should be 12 volts on that, shouldn't there? And then my VGA cable, I'm just going to have that curled up. I'll stop it flapping around in the breeze in there. And then the VGA cable here, that will come up there and go in there. Just putting some tape on there for the sharp edge, and that should just sit in there. It should just connect up there like that, and Bob's your uncle. That's the plan. I'll give it a whirl. Yeah, it really needed some sort of black mask around the screen there, so haven't figured that out yet, but I don't know. Yeah, I might replace that later. It turns out I had to move the control board because this metal actually is a fit under there like that. So the power cable and that, I don't know, that might have to sit on the fan or flap around in the breeze or so. I'll figure out some way to do that. I just wanted to have it outside so I could actually play around with it after the fact. Right, so I screwed this plate back in place, and I've mentioned this before. I do like how these supports. This is the hard drive board. I don't believe it runs the OS. I think it's just storage, isn't it? Yeah, that'll just sit in there, and then it just slots, it pushes back in place and locks. It's really very nice. Now we'll put our processor board in place, and I'm sure I can get 12 volts from somewhere on here. There's our VGA connector. Plug that in. No wuckers. Then we put our little interconnect board in here. There is a third board that goes on top. You can see there's another slot there. I don't know what the optional third board is. That's rather tricky to get in, but it's in nonetheless. Side ribbon cables, which I really like. And then we've got this side interface board over here. Beautiful. Look at that. So that'll take the just higher frequency signals over, does it? So rather than just the IDC ribbon. So that, and we're going to plug the fan in, otherwise it's not going to boot. And the VGA is plugged in. And then this is the printer output, I think, isn't it? Ooh, is that why the fan, it knows it's not there? It's a smart fan, control temp. So, yeah, that's just not, I don't think that's an ordinary fan. Or is that a pot? No, it's a temp sensor. Yeah, it looks like a control temp. Looks like, yeah, 45 degrees. Looks like, yeah, I don't know, something smart about it. But anyway, we do have our control board now, so we can just stick that down to the fan, no worries. And all we've got to do is get 12 volts into this sucker. So I can just measure things, or I can just check the manual, see if we can get the pin out for that. Oh no, I found it. It's got some, convoluted ribbon which goes over, so I have to take that shield off and try and get it back in. Right, let's just turn it on temporarily. So I've got the plug pack actually connected. Let's see if I've got it all connected in place. No sync. It should take a bit. Yeah, it looks it is a bit offset. That's not just the camera angle. Well, partially the camera angle. There you go. Tektronix TDS runtime environment. It's not hugely bright, but I can increase the brightness on that and contrast. No wuckers. So that works. Yes, I did change it back to white. Sorry, yeah, I just in case you want to do the color upgrade option, or there's some sort of, shading or something like that for the instant, the DPO mode or something like that. Hey, that is not flash flashing anymore. Ah, can't cop a break. Bloody Murphy. Although I didn't see a light come on, I didn't hear a ka-clunk or anything. It's just a ribbon, so it looks like it's a custom thing. It's going to work. There, nope, it stopped again. What? Seriously? I haven't done anything. Oh, jeez. Well, I've done a few repowers and it works, but no, that's not my tripod on the wrong angle. Yeah, don't use gaffer tape to hold in your screen. Looks like I'm going to have to do something better than that. I was probably going to take it off anyway to do the black surround thing, but it now works. So, yeah, it's not very bright, so I can call that up. But yeah, I don't know, like 4 or 5 times in a row it didn't work, but now it's working. So I don't know, like, is that non-volatile Dallas SRAM going? Like, I don't know. Is the hard drive going? That requires, because I can hear the hard drive spinning up when it boots, and it's trying to access something, and I don't know. All I've got to do now is fix that and find a 12 volt point. Now, the way I would find a 12 volt point, I've got the manual, I've got the service manual, maybe it's got some voltage test points or something like that, but I'd be looking around at caps, things like these tants down here. You can see these tantalums, right, which will get, oops, scooped up my focus there, had on manual. Yeah, look at caps like this, and ones that are like high voltage rated could be it. Like, you could get like a 16 volt or a 25 volt you know, tag tant or an electrolytic or something like that. These are all tag tants on here. There's no electrodes at all on here actually, but there's a few tag tants, so I might just go around and actually measure those, and we might get lucky. We might actually get 12 volts. I mean, down here is near the floppy drive, which I've still got disconnected. No, that wasn't it, by the way. So yeah, maybe there's 12 volts around there, so I might check out that, see if I get lucky. All right, do I feel lucky? Let's have a squeeze. 5 volts? Nope. 5 volts? Nope. 3.3? No, these are right in the middle of the board. These are all going to be 5 volt. No. There's one right near a card edge over here. No, not a sausage. Anyway, pretty confident I'll find 12 volts on the hard drive board here. So, and then it's easy just to bring the wire under the other board and just solder it on. No wuckers. Unfortunately, you turn it on with this board and all you get is hiccup in rails. That's all you get. So, yeah, that's no good at all. It's almost as if it doesn't, you know, it needs the logic board to switch it on. So we like to switch to keep the power supply switched on. It, you know, switches it on. The logic board is supposed to, I don't know, send back power good signal or something, and then switches off and hiccup, hiccup, hiccup. Well, it turns out that the optimal position for the LCD actually fits with inside the existing rubber here. You can kind of sort of like push the rubber to the side a bit, and it kind of sort of fits in there, which is pretty much the ideal angle, like actual placement within there. So yeah, it's not too bad. And it looks like the LCD is like practically the exact height of the existing plastic in here. So you could actually like you know, get a custom fitted you know, plastic backing on it or something like that if you're really you know, if you're really keen. Now at this stage I thought it might be easier just to power this board from 5 volts, but unfortunately, well, the outputs here are 1.2 volts and 3.3, as you'd expect for a you know, custom ASIC like that, and the input is actually, sure enough, 5 volts. Okay, so we don't need our 12 volts in, but then our LCD over here, that's actually 9.8 volts. So yeah, and that's probably coming and from, that'd be derived from the 12 volt input. So we can't just bypass that and put the 5 volts directly in. I don't think that's going to work. And I just checked the service manual. I found a service manual that was searchable for the D model here, and I searched for 12 volts and nothing comes up at all. So I don't think there's a single 12 volt rail in this entire product. Wouldn't you know it? Bloody Murphy. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of these little TI converter modules. These are little 12 watt jobbies, more than enough, and it's 5 volt input to adjustable output depending on what a set resistor is. And I just got these in the junk bin in my parts cabinet, and well, yeah, I'm going to just use one of those. So a single resistor on there, 5 volts in, that'll give me 12 volts out, and then I can just solder it to any point on that main processor board, really. Bugger. It looks like the shot I just took over on the other bench actually powering up the little brick DC to DC converter. It just 5 volts in, 12 volts out. It was hunky-dory, but I don't know, the camera lost that clip. It was corrupted or some rubbish. I don't know. I think the battery died or something. Anyway, I've got the wires coming out here, heat shrunk, and then I've just got them going into 2 header pins here, and I actually found ground and 5 volts on pins like 3 and 5 there or something like that. So yeah, so I found my 5 volts, so that goes into the DC to DC converter. That's all hidden behind there, and let's try and power it up, shall we? Right, so I think I've got that around the right way. Otherwise the magic smoke's going to escape. I got my 12 volt DC to 5 to 12 volt DC to DC converter in there, and it should power up. So let's go. What? Gone up to 7 on there. Yep. Obviously getting power. And will it show that problem that we were having before? We got flash, 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 flash up on the LED display up there. It's going through its boot cycle, though it froze after this, didn't it? Can't remember exactly. And that has booted. Yeah, I need to short my, obviously not low conductive enough to clean that and get that menu off, but that's a winner chicken dinner. Whack that front panel back on. Can operate the buttons. We've got the floppy back connected, although I don't think I ever tested the floppy. No idea if it works. There are modern replacements you can get. Solid state replacements for the floppy, I believe. Yep, there we go. That's got to click into place. It's really a bit difficult to get these front panels off. There's a bit of a knack to it. There you go. Like I bought one. And here it is, cover back on. Does actually power up, and it seems to work. So I have to run, like, you know, feed in signals, but I've fed in test signals before, and I think all 4 channels worked. So yeah, it's all hunky-dory. The screen isn't as bright. I like, if you turn the brightness up, it just appears like the backlight, and it fades out and stuff. So, you know, it's okay, but it's, you know, it's nothing to write home about. Anyway, the good part about it is that it is functional. So there's channel 1. There's a significant offset, actually. Channel 2, significant offset. So I might have to run through the 3's got an offset as well. And 4, might have to, there's a couple of more traces in there. I've got some math waveform on or something. Let's turn DPO mode on, which works better in color, of course, but then it drastically drops the memory. Yep, that just turns it back off. And we can put in dot mode. Yay! Cal down here, signal path initialized. Can we hit that? Compensation corrects for DC inaccuracies. That's what we want, caused by temperature variations, long-term drift. Yep, can run anytime after the oscilloscope has warmed up. Okay, so I'll leave it warming up for, I think it's 30 minutes. And then they claim, rerun it if the ambient temp has changed by more than 5C or once a week in vertical settings of 5 millivolts per division or less. I don't know, were the front ends like on these really drifty? I don't recall them being that bad. Don't recall ever it being an issue. For the older ones I've used. Oh, yep, there it goes. I'll just run it just to see if the DC offset goes away. Who cares if it drifts again? You can just rerun it as many times as you want. Well, that's finished, and yep, that fixed the DC offset issue as you'd expect. So, yeah, no wuckers. Can we change the vertical on that? Looks good. We can go right down to 1 millivolt per division. Not a problem. So there you go. That was an interesting upgrade of a Tektronix TDS540D. And as I said, there is a color upgrade available as well. You have to solder in the extra RAM chips and do some other mods to it. I can't remember what they were, but unfortunately I can't find those chips. I've got them in a little baggie somewhere down in the bunker, but you know, it's in the last lab move. Yeah, they've come a gutso, and yeah, it'd be nice to get some new knobs for these things. But anyway, I got plenty of scopes here in the lab. I have no use for this one, so I'll probably just yeah, I don't know, sell this, auction it off or something. And no, please do not leave comments down below. Oh, I'd love to have it. I'll pay for postage. Trust me, I'll pay for postage. No, you don't want to pay for postage for this thing. And no, I don't want to ship it overseas. Sorry, that's just the way it is, okay? Shipping these things is a pain in the ass, so I'm just going to do it. I'll just probably just, you know, sell it locally. I don't know, start at a 99-cent auction or something, maybe. After all, it was found in the dumpster. But yeah, 4-channel, 500 meg bandwidth. I'll double check that. 2 gig samples per second. I think that halves, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm going to put like the minimum of effort required into this just to tell people what it is, and I'll probably just auction this thing off or something. I don't know. But anyway, if you found the video interesting, give it a big thumbs up. As always, discuss down below. Catch you next time.